Penny Brohn had lived for 20 years since her cancer diagnosis, and during that time we'd started what in those days we called Bristol Cancer Help Centre. And she'd been very well and she'd done fantastically. But she got towards the end of her life, and at the end of the 90s she was moving slowly towards her death and was into a deep spiritual space, as people are when that is happening to them. And a dear friend in America, who happened to be John Cleese's ex, Babs Cleese, was sending her books. In fact, I have a feeling that the first stuff that came wasn't even in the form of the book. It was like the rushes from the book that she was sending bits of paper, because it was so important to give this to Penny. And I used to go and curl up on Penny's bed and Penny would read it to me. She said, "I've never, ever read anything like this in my life before. This is so different. I must speak to this wonderful author, Caroline Myss." And then, of course, the book did come out, and finally it was published in this country, and we and all of us who worked at the centre, we bought the books and we were reading them, getting so much from them. And then 1999, Penny died. And I was busy organising a memorial lecture. And dear Prince Charles, who loved Penny dearly, allowed us to use St James's Palace. We gave a wonderful memorial lecture in London, and the question was who to invite to speak. And to me there was no question, it had to be Caroline. And wonderfully, amazingly, because she didn't know us, she came. And she gave the most astonishing and marvellous address. Prince Charles was very bowled over by hearing her and asked to meet her afterwards privately, and that happened later on. So this connection with Caroline has been very poignant for me, very moving, very personal, because of the original links with Penny, and it's just been such a joy to have Caroline Myss with us in Bristol once again.
The audience in Bristol had travelled from all over the UK to support the charity and hear Caroline speak, and they were in no doubt about the importance and urgency of her messages about health, healing and human consciousness.
She's amazing. She really is. She is absolutely amazing. She's completely changed the way I look at my life, how I live my life, what I want to do with my life, how I deal with me, my physical illness or lack of it, how I see links between body and mind and illness and soul. She's changed everything.
I love the way she cuts right through to the centre of what people in my profession, so people who are working with counselling, psychotherapy, need to get to the heart of. And I like her approach, I like the way she sort of uses humour in her talk, and I like the way she looks at the whole person. And I think she's communicating it in a really clear way. But you know what, she's sort of saying, we've got to get on with it, guys. We haven't got much time. You know, don't mess around. Let's get on with the work that we should be doing. And I like that sense of urgency, and that's certainly something I've always believed in. So she will shift the consciousness in this room by the end of today, without question.
I like how direct she is. I like that she's very truthful. She doesn't allow anyone to languish in self-pity, and she actually challenges you to have a look inside and see what's making you tick and address those things. You know, have a look at what's standing in your own way. So I'm a big fan of hers. I have been for years, and I'm really enjoying hearing her speak live again.
Yeah, she's the voice for a generation, really, in terms of spirituality and in terms of where your path is. She kind of encapsulates everything that maybe all of us are feeling but haven't put a voice to and got the words for. She's captivating, she's funny, and she just brings such a lot of heart. It's almost the equivalent of like going to see someone like the Dalai Lama. I have to say, I walked away last time feeling so full, so enriched, and I just wanted to come over and do loads more in this country.
It is without doubt that the audience and the charity were so grateful for Caroline's lecture. But why did she give up her time for free for Penny Brohn Cancer Care? And why does this Bristol-based charity mean so much to her? Who better to ask than Caroline herself? So Caroline, this is a really special charity for you, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Very, very special. I feel devoted to this charity because the Penny Brohn Center does such significant work in the field of cancer. It's approach is so humane. I feel that it's creating a model that I hope spreads around England and Scotland. I think it's so not just humane, but conscious. It's conscious. I love the way they are healing, and that's it. I think they are genuinely healing.